Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Jay Voodoo Child, and we are here to play some Total War Saga Troy on Epic. Playing historical mode. What? How can that possibly be? But yes, that's what we're here to do. So if you wish more information about this campaign, please refer to my introduction video in this playlist. But meanwhile, let's get into the action.
Are we mere playthings of the gods? Or do we plead divine influence to justify our foolish choices?
He's taken her! He's taken my wife! You've risked the safety of Troy.
Troy is my home now.
You have my oath, brother. She will be returned to you.
Brother, I can fight! Go. Seek shelter. There'll be plenty of fighting ahead.
Helen's flight was a grave wound to Achaean pride. King Menelaus will have his revenge. And his brother will have his war with Troy, just as the gods intended.
So I tried a Twitch stream that did not go well, mainly because of lag. But as you can see here, my computer system is not the best, so we do have fairly long load times, even from an SSD, which kind of surprised me, but it is what it is. So please bear with my limited computer technologies.
Hear me, spear-famed Menelaus. Brazen Prince Paris of Troy has dared to steal your wife.
Paris of Troy must pay!
Gold-rich Mycenae, ruled by your brother Agamemnon, will support your cause.
Troy thinks to slight me, but they will pay the price.
As well as exacting vengeance upon Troy, other matters demand your attention. Open rebellion has devastated the region of Etis, where a pretender is trying to take power for himself. South of Etis, mighty Tyrrhens holds Kythera Island, blocking your access to the treasures of Crete, which are beyond imagination. Consolidate your power at home. Urge Helen's suitors to honor the oath of Tyndareus in your defense, and wage war on the perfidious Trojan princeling.
And here we are, our two faction abilities, Spartan colonies, where we can settle and colonize regions remotely, and also if we do it standard mode, we do not lose any troops to that. And then Call to Arms, where we have a global recruitment pool that we can pull from anywhere and kind of run with that, even though they cost more and take longer to recruit. Certainly adds dynamic there. So there's that. Our first mission to defeat this army right here. The Pretenders. And so I've already played this turn earlier today, 2-hour stream. And Twitch, it did not go well. And also, I don't think Twitch is saving videos anymore, or at least not the way that they did when I was playing Rail Nation. So I decided to kind of redo this particular turn and just do recordings and upload them on YouTube. So, Spartan. One of the things, like I mentioned in the intro, is my armies consist of, I prefer to have the majority of my units not have any bronze upkeep. So typically I'm not interested in the tier 4 or 5, if that's how they're referred to in Pharaoh. You know, those high-end armies for myself with my unit roster, or with the ones I'm bringing in from my faction ability. Also, one of the things that I do is I really abuse my militia units, and you know, they're the ones to charge into the fight, be the first ones to beat up. They invariably get beat down and retreated, but at that time I'm cycling in my more experienced and veteran troops to really hit them as they, you know, hit the opponents after they've kind of wasted their energies on my fodder units, essentially. And one of the things about the way I progress through the campaign and through my conquering is that I look at what units can be produced at just a level 1 city after I take it over. And that's always these militia. And in the cities, they are the slingers. But over here, for these, I just get the militia. You know, I'm going to have issues there. And the standard recruitment pool is 3 for my troops, and then 3 more for the global troops. And so if we come over here to my unit, come on, you can do it.
Menelaus of Sparta.
So I can recruit 3 right here, and this are from the main building, and these 2 are available through that mustering military unit or building. And so I'll generally have my main line, you know, one of those from that type of building typically. And so I'll recruit these while I have it, and I'll keep the building of, but as soon as I'm done recruiting that kind of main line standpoint, I will typically demolish that building and like build up one of the 3 agent buildings to replace it, since I'm kind of got limited number of buildings and I have a lot of buildings required to kind of go through that process. So from that point is usually all just kind of just replacing the militia that I just kind of burn through, and you know, just have a stack of 20 running out there and demolishing things. And I do want to kind of eventually play a game where I take more of a defensive version, or at least just not completely abandon my home territories to go invade Troy or what have you. But I've kind of yet to really hone that down as well, and maybe I'll be able to pull it off this time. Who knows? Probably not. But again, here's the call to arms recruitment pool. I can have 3 here. They typically cost twice as much. I'm not sure what triggers it, but eventually the militia will become 1-turn recruitment as well. And so maybe I'll do 3 here, even though they're more expensive, you know, 4 times, or actually, yeah, twice as much, almost twice as much. And then if I happen to conquer something with that first tier mustering field, pick up a replacement, kind of fill out the numbers there, or, get some slingers or other units that are available through whatever buildings are in that captured territory. So that's that. Something else I was explaining. Typically, let me, I guess, start here. One of the cheesy things that I do is I'll run through those barters.
You are king of a warrior people.
Within.
I can respect that.
And since I really want stone, I can get 15 stone for 1 bronze. That's completely ridiculous. But essentially, I'll go through. I didn't mean to completely exit. But all the factions that I think I'm not going to be at war with in the next 5 turns, I'll make a barter deal with them and try and get some exchange in my favor of that. And as you can see right here, across all these different factions, that can add up. When I actually load into the game I've saved for that, then you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. And so, to help that, typically I will do a hecatomb every 5 turns as well to Aphrodite, because that raises up my diplomacy by 10. And unlike Zeus here with the prayers, they apply to all agreements, including barters. So that's something that gives me a little boost in the resources I can steal from others, essentially. And also the secondary effect, by just having a number here, I forget what you call these points, favor points. Having a favor in the respected zone, without the prayer even, will give me twice the amount on the organized games, which I will typically use when I have a full province. But right now, my starting province is not complete, so I kind of lose out on that. And like I said, I played a game a month ago with Sparta, kind of preparing for this version that I'm filming. And I forgot to do the hecatomb to Aphrodite before I started doing my deals. And so I said, okay, well, does any of these other favors get me anything? And I decided to go with Ares, because it increases my recruitment capacity by 1. So increasing it 1/3, which is a decent amount, and is able to kind of get you into those quests a little quicker by having 12 units in a unit in a stack, and then 20 units in a stack. So I can get to those a little quicker. And also I have morale for sword and axe units, which I will typically have in my starting army. So let me go ahead and take care of that.
Gather the priests.
And as you can see, now I get those bonuses. So again, I'll go through the barters. I do save a lot, and you'll see that later. And essentially, I went down, and like right here, axe unit, spear unit, sword unit, axe unit. So the majority of my melee units are benefiting from that respective Ares that I have. And so I'll come down and fight this unit. And then I'll come back across the border, because this right now is in ruins. And so I'm not able to recruit my units from here. So I just come back a little bit across the border here, and then I'll recruit those 4 units. And since I don't have any of my frontline units, I'll do this here, And typically I'll have more money for this after the battle. So I'll get 3 of these and 1 of these, I think. And also for the buildings, I like this particular building here. Reducing the construction time on everything. That's very nice. Since this is harder to get to the -2, you know, this is only -1. I'll just leave it at tier 1 for a while and like build up my main structure. I'll typically try and beeline this up to 4 so I can get into the higher tier temples here. And for this one, my starting province, typically I'll go for Temple of Apollo, so I can get +6 levels on agents. And somewhere else I'll have Athena, where I'll get +6 levels to heroes. I'll also be researching these two with +2 levels and +3 levels. And I'll be stacking other bonuses, like here is another 2 levels for agents. I don't think I have a +1 for heroes on this particular faction. No, I don't. And so, you know, again, I'll stack a bunch of levels so I can start off with a level 26 agent and get 3 of them all at the same time. So that's something I'm typically doing and trying beeline. But, yeah, so I'll go get this. And then generally speaking, I'm going to conquer this and get this rolling, get my organized games, and that's so I this every 5 turn I can go back to that hecatomb and kind of get double the effect here. I'm really interested in growth, typically. In fact, for my first royal decree, I'm going to go with growth. And like I said, go attack this unit, and because I've already recorded that, let's escape out of this game and go see that battle. Alright, battles, replays, Sparta, watch. So an open field battle, they start off right here, and basically I set up across here and come up here, and even though this is kind of up ground through here, the way that they face me is outside of this woods, so I do have some coverage while coming in to attack them. And how I set up, you know, I'll show you in just a few moments. One thing I haven't done in the main game is trying to get the unit cards inside. I'm not sure how that went away. Maybe it's just a game update that I have to deal with. But yeah, let's pause this. How do we do that? Oh, right here. So my initial setup, militia, slingers in between, leaving a gap. I have my hero recessed. You can't see it here, but my hero's main ability, my starting ability, is to challenge an enemy non-hero unit, and they'll come focus on you. And while they're doing that, you can flank them with other units and just really completely trash their morale, cause them to rout easily and quickly, and that way you can just basically take out one unit fairly simply. I typically leave my charging units even further behind so they're not getting shot by range so quickly. They'll start focusing on either exchanging with my range or just firing at the near shield. nearest unit, which happens to have a shield on it. And then I'll either cross charge, that way I get a better angle to get a side attack on the unit engaged with my militia here, and again a cross attack here. But if they go strong on one side or the other, then I'm kind of free to chase range units from here, since these are typically faster units. I think this is still only a 37. This is 37. I believe you're a 37. This might be a little higher, and this is either a 48 or a 55. So this is my fastest running unit, and it does have a shield that I can swap around. This is my kind of elite unit, starting unit. So we'll resume the game. We'll kick it in high gear, and essentially I'm just trying to move up and position myself here. And as you can see, they're going to shift their face this way, and still their units are outside of this forest except for the one hero. And then once I got established up here, because I decided, since I'm in forest and they are not, to actually just do a slinger versus slinger. And typically also what happens is, even if you're shooting at something melee, it's only going to let you get some shots in before it starts sending out a unit. And then depending on how quickly you respond to that surge, if you retreat, then they will retreat, and you kind of repeat the process until you run out of ammo. Or you can just shoot at them enough to say, okay, forget this, we're leaving this position, and they'll actually attack my position. And so I have the defensive value of being able to choose the ground in which I fight on, and whether that's in trees, to protect against range attacks. And this one I'm still downhill, which is still a disadvantage for me, but also I can definitely maintain my avenues of charging and attacks, and to really help my situation there, and to gang up on particular units and quickly get them out of the fight, get them retreating, so I can concentrate on others. And so I knew the hero was out on this flank, so I figured this unit would. So yeah, let me just slow it down and pause it here. So again, I'm going to have my slingers face off against their slingers. Still getting in position, finalizing positions here and here. And I know I'm pretty much going to have to face the hero with this, and they're going to get slaughtered from that. I was thinking at this point, since this is their strongest unit on the other flank, that I would go challenge them, and then have this unit kind of attack them from the side. And then thinking about bringing this guy up and kind of doing some side charges on the hero, and then maybe also getting the other side charges from here as well. So I start moving my hero unit out here and start setting up that sequence. And here they're just going to charge out with their light swordsmen. They're the kind of medium class unit. But then they decide to bring everyone. And it's like, okay, so at this point, I'm going to toggle off their skirmish mode, and I'm going to set them up that pull them back into this gap behind the hero, and that way they can just fire from safety at that point. But because I was moving these guys up simultaneously, I ended up kind of getting out of range, because the slingers will stop at the next target and start shooting at them. So I wanted to kind of get back into range to shoot at the slingers, since everyone else has a shield on them. And that's kind of how that initial engagement started. So now I'm pulling back then, pulling the heroes off to the side, since they're kind of just coming straight down here as they're trying to flank over here. Eventually I'll get these guys moving. Again, I'm pausing in here on the regular game just so I can enjoy that. So let me
Your
stop it
warriors
right
have
here.
spotted hidden foes.
So I know there's another unit in here someplace. Actually, no, here's all three. So yeah, there's a unit coming in here. Right there they are. Sorry. So our militia is going to go up there. Again, I'm trying to hold this guy off to get a flank attack when I challenge this unit. On this unit, I'm finally moving up to get in range of the slingers who've decided to start firing at the right side, my sword arm side of this. So this is a bad position for me, but you know, they are slingers, so that's kind of fortunate. And yeah, I've just now started my flanking attack move with this. They're unloading their initial spears there. That's going to soften them up a little bit, and then I'm going to eventually charge into there and then charge into here, because this unit kind of gets overwhelmed by attacking that guy, but these militia are going to come in, and so it's going to be militia versus militia and then hero versus spear, and just kind of give me the advantage on that. After I get done charging the swordsman here, I'm going to charge the militia, and they break fairly quickly. And then I got to decide whether I'm going to go chase range, which I ended up doing, or trying to save this militia, but I gave up on this one. This one, because it was dealing with both of these and also getting fire from the javelins and the slingers, this one kind of broke fairly quickly. So I ended up keeping my spear runners on the militia, and they quickly won that. But you can see how all that develops here. So yeah, initially they're going to go after, everyone's coming in, range is focusing on the hero. I charge them, challenge them, so they get side attacked. That's not good. And it's like, okay, well, no, now I gotta fight them. I've already made my charge here, kind of done my damage there. Slingers versus
Your
slingers.
warriors are losing heart.
This guy's free. I am going to do a quick charge against the rear here just to do some damage, and then go chasing. Here my militia breaks, but I've already got the nice advantage going here. You know, I've got a much better unit than the militia. My hero is better than the spear, even though it's more defensive, so this is going to actually take long. I'll break this guy off. He's going to retreat there. My runners are going to come in on the flank here. They'll finish off this guy fairly quickly. And at that point, instead of chasing this retreating militia, this unit starts going after the slingers. As I said, my axemen did a quick charge onto the rear side of the hero, but now they're going to go chasing this javelin. Unfortunately, my movement is just really slow on this particular faction, so it takes me a lot to catch these range units that I'm chasing. I'm bringing back these guys. They almost went off the map, so I'm very close to the side. I knew these guys were going to break soon enough, so I was just kind of getting in position there. And I decided I'd switch the slingers since I knew these guys were going to be running off. I started firing into the backs of this militia with their shields. Don't do any good. And I knew that they would recover by the time I can get a skull on these spearmen from the hero unit.
Your warriors have been routed.
Again, it was like I was a little too close to comfort right here. I put these guys back on skirmish mode. And then, unfortunately, he kind of started retreating here. This guy doesn't know whether he wants to go after the hero or after the slingers. I just kind of decided to throw my militia at the hero, tie them up here. And I was hoping maybe that they would come over here and I'd get some rear shots here. So I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen here. And again, these guys are just taking forever to chase down these units. And this guy's trying to chase after my X-Men. My hero's chasing after them. They finally turn around to engage. I finally get for a weird zone, and my militia finally break over here. And these guys don't know whether to retreat from, whether they're attacking them directly or trying to flank them. So they get maybe 1 or 2 shots in, and then they'll turn and face, and these guys are running off again. And instead of trying to get up into this zone, because I'm worried about this guy coming down, I try and retreat off of this, and that kind of puts me out of position. Finally finish off chasing off there. I don't want to face one-on-one. You know, I always want to have the advantage. So I again start trying to retreat over here to where these guys are. For whatever reasons, these guys hid in the woods and stopped for a moment, so I lost track of them. Finally, this very fast unit caught up with the slingers, and they're just decimating them. And so, again, they're just chasing, retreating. They get shot up a little bit. So once these go skull, then I charge into the rear here when these guys are finally cheered up. Also, again, because these guys are coming on, he doesn't know which way direction, so they engage in combat here. Again, my hero is trying to move. Basically, everyone's in yellow right now. I don't enjoy that. Even though they're also in yellow, he's walking, so may not have the fatigue building up that I am by trying to run all down these units and stay away from this unit. And so once these guys get charged from the back, they quickly disappear. And at this point, they're exhausted or very tired. So I'm trying to save off them. And again, I just want to chase them a little bit to get the skull value. And at this point, I'm thinking about, okay, I want to gang up, and my ability's off cooldown, so I want to use it against this guy.
Victory is close enough to taste.
So I'm trying to circle my slingers over here, so kind of meet up on this side of the rock. And by the time I finish off that unit, the hero will be coming around the mountain, and I'll be able to gang up on them if they've not already broken. And so kind of start setting up there. Again, I'm not sure whether the hero is going to go up against my exhausted axeman or try and get someone. These are very quick moving and going downhill in open terrain. They're moving quickly. So eventually I'll just kind of get in position around here. The hero eventually I'm going to be working. And actually I outrun this guy because he's now in walk mode and I'm still running. So eventually I'll just turn them around, start shooting at them, trying to get the retreat, trying to get these units rested as much as possible. I actually pulled back the axes a little bit more, trying to go back here, then kind of reconsidered it because it looked like he chased my hero a little bit, so I just kind of wanted to put him right here so I can get that quick down road into open terrain. Kind of sit there to get a little rest, get some shots on here, resting here. These guys are coming on a little too fast to comfort. I wanted to get more time to destroy them. And pretty soon I'm just going to start bringing these guys down and start doing the approach for the taunt here. Yep, and they're about to run off. And, you know, I keep on switching off of skirmish mode here because eventually I know that they're going to be forced to taunt them, so they're not going to be attacking my slingers at all. And I don't want them to be retreating there. I want to start throwing some slings at the hero as they're coming in. But again, just can't really figure it out. Just my position just wasn't really great. Here I've got the taunt. Now I'm going to bring in for a rear charge there. And that's going to go fairly quickly because they are now exhausted. And finally start moving in my here for attack. But as soon as these guys break, we have army loss. These guys leave. I start doing some rear shots into here. At this point, I'm not sure whether I'll get credit for everyone who exits the map as far as the enemies go, on those being kills. So I start using my fast unit to go chase down this, half damaged hero unit. Actually, he's got 43 out of 60 there. They just taken damage. I turn around my slinger so I'm not shooting into the back of these guys. And my hero unit's just trying to get whatever kills I can here. So eventually I will kill the general here, but I still chase out the rest of them. They start retreating up here, which can get away, but they had one guy running out here, or maybe this guy got stuck out here when they were finishing off my second militia unit. Eventually my unit finished off these last.
Has claimed the enemy
I go chasing after here, but they're too far away really. And instead of chasing down all the way down over here for one guy, I just ended the battle for there. So I think total of 13 minutes is what I spent on this battle. My 2 militia units completely devastated. I ended up doing a recruitment replenishment option on the post-battle, and this unit got 2 chevrons, one for just all the damage that they did, and the other for killing off the general. No one else got a chevron. And so that was our first battle. So anyway, there's the jump of that one person. And here's the post-battle. Nope, doesn't give the stats. So hopefully once I'm actually streaming this and recording it properly, you'll be able to see all that post-battle stuff. Close to feet. Alright, don't know what all that is. And so now I'll just load up, no, the campaign. I think that's the actual load version. And essentially what I'll do is, again, just retreat across the line, do 4 recruitments. Because of the food I got in that battle, as post-battle loot, I was able to recruit 3 spearmen and 1 militia. Which I may want to change that. Yeah, maybe I won't. And again, I'm going to end the turn in my territory, so I'm going to get some...
Menelaus of Sparta!
But yeah, as you can see, these guys were completely devastated. They're getting 4 back. And here's my recruitment. And also, I decided to level him. Menelaus is an interesting one to try and level out. Initially, I was thinking about going for the Dread of Ares because I do like morale hits. This unit does not cost any rage, so having my first ability use a chunk of rage is typically the way I'll go, particularly if it's for morale. But down here, we have the Frenzy, which is health loss per second, tick, what have you, for bonuses. And since Historical does not have healing at all, I believe, this is no good for me. I don't like doing health damage to myself for some bonus damage. And this one I really like, again, because it's a bigger morale hit. And so I decided to go for that. But that's 75 rage. I'll need also a 50 rage. So do I want the 5 per second? and started looking at the other abilities. Shield wall right here. Again, rallying cry, rage of 50 costs. It's a plus morale and defense bonus for my units. Larger radius or cooldown for this. This is a faction unique or character unique ability with shield wall. And since a lot of my possibilities on hero guard units are without shield, like here, I think both versions on the next tier, actually it does have cheer, is another. So you have one shield version, one non-shield charging version. But anyway, since the AI range units do like to target my hero a lot, having this rage per tick version down here of 2 per second on the shield wall is the way I wanted to go. But also if the rage cost there. So since that is going to take a long time to kind of get that that rage per second, and since this is a big 75 not too far away at level 4, I decided to get the first tick of assault and battery, raise my armor piercing, particularly against that taunt unit, and try and choose the toughest one that will have more armor, so this will be more effective. And just kind of use my rage here while this still is locked away. And so I won't be able to use that here. And then just not spend anything here and get double points here for a wider rage, I think. Yeah, a wider terrify. And so, that I think will be worth an instant purchase there for 75 rage. And, I'm not going to be fighting a whole lot of battles early on with this faction. I will get some experience ups for completing epic quests and that sort of thing. So it won't be terribly long before I get terrified, but for the battles I am fighting before then, I'll do have some sort of rage dump here, even at the more expensive version, but still. So that's the way I decided to level my first initial levels and maybe even further on. And that's where I left it. And again, I'm trying to set up a basic income to purchase at least like one of these a turn, even though 150. And so here with my diplomacy, I'm getting 70. I got 28 from the Bane building. I think I'm gonna get 16 or something for the building I decided to build on turn 1. So I'll be able to get, almost one per turn of these. Now, one thing I mentioned in the stream, I'm not going after these two. These two are on this main island here. And this faction that wants these two will typically go to war with you anyway. So just spending resources to get this, to start building it up, just to get crushed by a stack fairly easily is not something I'm going to waste resources on. I am interested in trying to get this area exposed, and so this, I can't move it. All right, that's roads. So yeah, there's an island right here. It's very hard to see. So we have a horde unit that starts off on roads, and we'll knock off these 3 provinces, and then they'll come down here and take this one out, and then we'll come here and start taking random out. And they'll generally get stalled somewhere or killed off down in here. So I have just a couple turns before they get off of this island and get down to here. And I really want to jump into here. All right. So I'm thinking this, actually probably any one of these three will open up this territory line of sight. We'll remove this fog of war. And then I can see whenever this gets sacked. And so I'll go grab that. And then that will reveal here. And hopefully no one will have traveled down the roads to pick up the three that are sacked here. I'll get here and probably happily trade them all away eventually to Lycia to try and get that diplomatic standing with them, or that defensive, standing with them, so I can get into their unit roster, which is very unique. They do have Eastern Spearmen, which are an upgrade to my standard Spearmen, my front line. There's a better version that I might chase after, depending on how the game advances, but that's kind of more of a mid-game goal to see if I can go after them, or a late mid-game goal. This would be an early mid-game goal. So we'll just do all that. My early game goal is to get defensive alliance with Ithaca and start bringing in their units that I like from them. So again, but I'm trying to get one of these built up, and then I'm just going to trade them away for diplomatic advantages before they're targeted by attack, to keep my enemy count very low. And so therefore the Trojans can't hijack or piggyback off an attack to avoid all my defensive, engagements, which may or may not deter them from attacking me outright. But I do have a defensive alliance with my brother, and he tends to get into wars really easily with Trojans, so I maybe no way of avoiding a war with the Trojans specifically, which would make getting into a defensive alliance with Lycia but if I can get a defensive alliance there and they attack me directly, hopefully Lycia will go to war with her cousins. I don't know, because I've traded them so much territory that they favor me much more than their kind of kin, if they will. But anyway, my voice is getting dry, so let me stop this video and get some refreshments and come back and start with part 2. Let's see, I'm 49 minutes into this recording, so yeah, that's a good rate. Anyway, that's where we're at there. I think I covered everything. So yeah, we're good to go. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, do all that good stuff. Comment below what you think about this particular campaign, or any of your thoughts on Total War CA. I'll happily discuss, any of the opinions that I gave in the intro. And constructive dialogue I'm completely open for, as my Star Citizen people will tell you. That's what I'm constantly requesting there. So anyway, again, Star Citizen folks watching, this is kind of one of the games that I'm playing while I wait for Star Citizen to come along. I hope you continue to watch these and enjoy the ride with me. Anyway, thank you all. Take care. Bye now.